Hi, ladies. I'm so excited to be speaking here on the Ladies 1099 Ladies. I haven't done this in such a long time, so I'm excited to share this information with you. So my name is Denise K, and I am a transformational love coach who specializes in healing from narcissistic relationships so that you can move on confidently into a new and healthy relationship. And usually how a speaker does this is they go right into their story of how they got here and the credibility that they have to share this information with you. But today, I want to switch things up. I want to switch things up a bit and first share this information with you, and then I'll tell you a bit about my story. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let me ask you this. Who has a difficult family member? Someone who is always on the defense, or someone who is highly confrontational? Everybody should be raising their hand, right? Because we all have at least one of these types of personalities in our families. And that's the tough part, dealing with difficult family relationships, especially like Linda was saying, especially during the holidays. So what is it, who'd like to share? What is it about the family members that makes them difficult? Does anybody have something that really pops out? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't respect any boundaries.
Yeah.
You invite them over, and whatever boundary you put up, they just are blowing right past it. It's so disrespectful. You want to throw punch them.
Yeah. Lack of respect is a huge one. Yeah. Anybody else?
You can unmute yourself. She really
critical.
Likes it when you're interactive.
Yeah. Very critical. You can't do anything right.
Yeah. Nothing's ever good enough, right?
Yeah. Disrespectful.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are big ones too. Yeah.
I have someone in my life who takes no responsibility for their actions. They've never done anything wrong to you. Everything is your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Just not taking ownership of their own behavior.
The blame game.
Yeah, playing the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Another throw punch idea.
Yeah. Well, for me, I have two sisters that are this way. Everything that you just described, disrespectful, the blame game, very critical, nothing's ever good enough. And my ex-husband, who was a bear during the holidays. And you know who else was like that? My father. I remember one Thanksgiving, my mom was so nervous dealing with him. She was trying to do everything, plan, cook, make everything perfect to serve everyone. She wanted the holiday to be a memorable one and wanted everybody to be happy, right? That's what most of us women strive to do. Well, what ended up happening that Thanksgiving was she stressed out like massively, and the entire holiday was ruined. That's how I can remember it, right? Because this was like, I think I was like a preteen. So I want to use this memory as an example today. When you're dealing with a difficult family relationship, there are three things that you can do to shift your energy to make the event or the holiday a good one. And the first thing that I want to really stand out for you is that everything begins and ends with you. When you're dealing with a difficult family member, you have to keep yourself in a calm and peaceful state of mind. Because if you walk into a situation or you're in the same room with this type of person and you're on edge already because you know what to expect, you know how they act, or you're anticipating bad behavior from this person, this is going to shift everything to basically you're giving that your power away to them is essentially what's happening. And this is what these toxic people strive for. They want to control you. That's the name of their game, is to control you. So let's start with number one. Plan ahead for the event or the holiday. So when you know that you're dealing with a difficult family member, you already know what their behavior is going to be like, right? So why not plan ahead with intentions and visuals before the event to set up your energy to make it a good one? Okay. Even difficult people have good days, right? And you really are in control of your life. You really can make this happen. So you can do things like, say, if you're flying out to a family event or a family holiday and you know this person's going to be there. Well, when you start making plans for the flight and all of the planning for the event, that's when you can start to shift your energy into how you're going to feel, because that's what's important. Everything begins and ends with you. How you're going to feel at this event, at this holiday. So I'm assuming everybody wants to have fun, right? You want to have laughs. You want to feel peace and calm within yourself. You don't want any confrontation. You don't want to feel, like you were saying, criticized, belittled, disrespected. So visualizing and literally injecting that energy into the event beforehand will make a difference for you. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? Does that make
No,
sense?
that makes total sense, because I think that when you are, so many times, I don't know if anybody's ever done this, you walk in and you're like, you always do this. Here we go again. Like when you hear yourself saying those things, it's like you're inviting them to do the stupid
Exactly.
thing.
That's
And
exactly it.
you just want to take back that invitation.
Yes, that's exactly it, Linda. Thank you for saying that. That's a perfect example. So in the subconscious mind, right, the unconscious mind already is expecting an outcome, right? And so when you can shift that and change that to be what you want, that's when there's going to be a huge difference. So number 2 is to center yourself and remain calm. And this could be tricky for you, especially if the other person's behavior is triggering for you. Okay, so you can do this through your thoughts and your energy. Before the event, you can set the intention of how this is going to go down. You can manifest the outcome. So I love to share about setting intention. So a strong way to set the intentions is to put yourself into a calm and peaceful environment. So whatever that is for you, it could be outside in nature, it could be a bubble bath, it could be whatever it is for you. Huh?
This nice chair right behind me.
Yes, exactly. Get yourself into a peaceful and calm environment. And then you want to place your hands over your heart, close your eyes, place your hands over your heart, right? And this is you getting centered and in a peaceful and calm way. And you can take some deep breaths. And then you can set the intentions of what the outcome that you're seeking. Now, the key to setting the intention is to not hold on to that intention. It's for you to set the intention. It's almost like, you put it out to the universe and then you just have a trusting and a knowing that it's going to come true, but you're not have a clenched energy to it. Like if it doesn't come true, then, you want to let it go.
Don't play the what if game.
Right. You want to just let it go. Just let it go and trust and know everything's going to be, the end result is how you're going to feel. So somebody could act like a total asshole and you can feel like, wow, you just made a big fool of yourself, but you don't feel bad about it, right? Everything is about you. Everything begins and ends with you. So if this person can act like that and you have no attachment to their behavior because you're not embarrassed by it, you know that person is that person and that people are looking at that person and their behavior, and you walk away and you're like, whew, that was interesting. This is liberation and freedom, right? So this is what these steps that you can do that will help you have that. Okay, so number 3 is if this person or persons are just too toxic, then it's up to you to create an environment that is healthy, calm, and peaceful for you. So that could be that you set a strong boundary for yourself, saying that if that person is there, then I can't be, right? Because your mental and your emotional health is 100% up to you to protect and keep calm. Sometimes that means that you need to be the bad guy, quote unquote, right? And set strong boundaries. So how do you do that? You can do that through these 4 ways. And those 4 ways are loving yourself, forgiveness, truth, and trust. Right?
Can you
Because
say, can you say that one more time?
which part?
Loving yourself,
Yeah, self-love,
forgiving yourself.
forgiveness, truth, and trust. Because just starting with self-love, when you love yourself, you set boundaries for yourself. When you love yourself, you won't tolerate that behavior under any circumstances. And you don't care if other people are going to be like, oh, Denise, you're not showing up because so-and-so, and you're like, that's right, I'm not. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't feel the need to explain yourself. You're standing in your power. You're setting boundaries. And if somebody doesn't respect that, then that's their problem, not yours, because you respect you. You respect your boundaries.
And you know, I
So-
remember when I was just learning these ideas, which I think are so powerful. I remember going to a holiday thing with a family member, the whole family, and there's always somebody. And so I said to myself, I'm going to go, but the first time somebody refers to me in a profane way, I'm going to put on my coat and I'm going to go to the movies. So I had a plan B all set up. There was even a movie I wanted to go to. And what's nice about New York City is there's 15 movie theaters. So you can see a movie at 7, 7:15, 7:25. So, I mean, it's just like, there's always, you just look in your phone, see the one that's playing in the, you know, for your commute time, and Shazam, you're there, right? And so I went in, the person misbehaved. I said, gee, I thought I was going to get to stay longer. Merry Christmas, everybody. I put on my coat and out the door I went. And then I went to the movies. I loved the movie. And I went home and I said, I'm so proud of myself that I didn't stay there and take that nonsense. And, you know, I sort of set it up in the future, like, hey, if you're not going to behave, I'm not going to stay. So it's your decision if you want me here or not. But I'm not going to subject myself to this anymore. I'm done. And it shifted the whole family, because once they saw my example,
Exactly.
other people start. So then the house would clear out when this person would misbehave. Do you know this person actually learned self-control because they said, I'm tired of sitting here alone. You know, after so many family get-togethers of people
That's
walking
awesome.
out. I know, but I was like the first domino that, and isn't that great?
That's exactly how it goes, right? The problem is that we've been taught, especially as women, we've been taught to just shut up, just let that person go. We make excuses for this person. We're people pleasers. We don't want to ruffle any feathers. We don't want to get anybody upset. If I walk out, it's going to make a scene and blah, 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 which is all BS. Because what's happening when we do those things is we are subjecting ourselves to this toxic energy, number one, this behavior, and we're not setting boundaries for ourselves. We're telling the universe, like, it's okay for me to be around shitty assholes all day, and I'm just going to put up with it because I'm a welcome mat. They can step all over me, and I don't care, because I don't want to make myself look like the bad guy, and I don't want to set boundaries for myself because I'm afraid of what people are going to say. My mom's going to get mad. My dad's going to blah, 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 blah. And then when, like, Linda, that's such a great example, because you're right. You were the star of the domino, and then everybody was
Well, I mean, this is why I love your business. As soon as I heard you speak for the very first time, I thought, yes, this is exactly what everyone needs to hear who goes through this stuff, because you don't have to learn at the School of Hard Knocks. You can go right to the front of Denise, pick it up, binga, banga, booma, let's go to Zuma.
Exactly. And so self-love, forgiveness, and truth are the 3 keys to healing that I learned years ago through this book called The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. And in the book, he shares that we learn this through our great masters like Buddha, Jesus, Krishna. All of those masters had tested this self-love, forgiveness, and truth with all types of people around the world, like all around the world. And the outcome was the same. It was healing. It was healing our emotional mind. It was healing. He describes in the book how our mind it's sick because of society, not sick like perverted or anything, like sick, just wounded sick. And I added trust to these 3 keys because I find that women and myself who've been through narcissistic abusive relationships, it's a huge challenge to trust when they come out of it and to go into another relationship. They don't trust themselves. They don't trust the other person. They don't trust that this is going to be a good outcome because my past has shown me X, Y, and Z. So I've added trust. And these are the 4 core pillars of what I teach my clients in depth to do for themselves so that they never attract narcissistic relationships ever again and can deal with difficult family members. I have difficult family members too. Guess what? They're not my life anymore because I chose to walk away from that because I know that I can't change them. It's their responsibility for them to change them. I'm responsible for me and my mental and my emotional health. And so my life used to be filled with drama, family drama, ex-husband drama, you name it, psych wards and hospitals and gunshot and blah, 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 you name it. Now I have none of that. It's like when I look back at it, I was like, wow, that was such a nightmare. I have none of that now. And it's through these 4 core pillars, me learning to love myself again, me forgiving myself and them. I had to forgive my mom and my sisters and my ex-husband, all of that. Sharing my truth like I do now. And even just with myself, sharing my truth of, yeah, I was an abused woman. I was in an abusive relationship and all of the truths that were in that, facing that, and then trust, learning to trust myself again, trust the process, trust other people. And the whole thing about trust is that people think you have to learn how to trust everybody else. And in fact, what it is all you have to do is learn how to trust yourself. Because when you trust yourself, then your body, your gut, your intuition will tell you that other person is not good for you. The problem is that we ignore that gut instinct, especially if the other person looks good on paper or the other person can help me get ahead in with X, Y, and Z. So we ignore that and we go forward with that relationship, whether it's work relationship or whatever. And then later on down the line, you find out that, oh my gosh, why didn't I listen to my own intuition, my own self? So that's where these come from. So going back to my mom and the Thanksgiving, if my mom had these incorporated with herself and use these tools to set the intention, to center herself and remain calm, to plan ahead for the event, to love herself, forgive herself, and all of these things that I've mentioned, then the holiday would have turned out different. The whole marriage would have turned out different because that was also an abusive relationship. But she didn't know any of this. And that's why that outcome was what it was.
Right. I mean, everyone's always doing the best they have with what they have.
Exactly.
So you can't expect somebody to act in a way when they don't have the information
Right.
to support the action. I mean, it's just sometimes we have these survival instincts that kick in and kind of pull us through. But most of the time, we really do need to either be in counseling or have our face in books or have coaches to help guide us so that we don't have to learn everything the hardest way. That
Absolutely.
That's Denise's job, is to soften that path a little and give you the heads up. Hey, I see what's going on, because she can be objective. It's hard for you to be objective when you're in the middle of it all. You know what I mean?
Very. Mm-hmm.
And I would think the one thing you left out is one of the reasons why I used to say is because I thought, oh, I have serious fighting skills. Not that I can't believe I'm putting this on recording, but I would stay to protect other people.
Mm-hmm.
If this person got out of line, I could physically protect my cousins, my mother. I thought I was the protector, because I grew up in a way that you know, I had to have those survival skills. So I kind of stayed as like the police officer of the family, which is ridiculous because, you know, I was like 115 pounds dripping wet. But in any event, I had to come to the realization this was not my responsibility, that I needed to protect myself. And that was my responsibility, not everyone else.
Yeah.
They were all adults, you know, that was up to them to either walk out of the situation or navigate it in a way that made sense for them. But it wasn't my job. And that was really hard because I love them. And I think when you love people, as women, we have such protective instincts over our children and over the people we care about. That's like part of our DNA. You know what I mean?
It is.
So really hard to release that and say, hey, I have to treat myself like a priority. It's the right thing to do. I have to protect myself. That was a very hard conclusion to come to for me.
Yeah, it is. And society has taught us that we are the caregivers. We take care of everybody. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not only been passed down generations, but just look at the old TV shows where women were, you know, the caretakers of everything. They took care of the house, they took care of the kids, they took care of the husband, took care of the pets, they took care of everything. And there's never I can remember in those shows where the woman was taking care of herself in a way, you know, a deep self-love way. So
yeah, and you know what? When you see a woman who's taking care of herself, she looks selfish and entitled and like
exactly.
Cruella DeVille type of a girl.
Right. She's being a bitch. Right. She's selfish. Exactly. And that's, again, what society has put on us to believe, that when you make yourself a priority first, and then you take care of everybody else, that you're being selfish, that you have to take care of everybody else. The old quote of you can't pour from an empty cup, right? It's true. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your cup up first in order to take care of everybody else to the best ability. But society has taught us the opposite of that, which isn't true. So when you wake up in the morning and you even take 5 minutes out for yourself to whatever, meditate, read, like Linda was saying, read your book or listen to videos that are helpful, affirmations of self-love, forgiveness, truth, and trust, whatever it is for you. This is you making yourself a priority. The beginning of the day, it's about me and filling my cup up first. Then I can be the best wife, the best mother, the best sister, the best daughter for everybody else. And then at the end of the day, these are the two most powerful times of the day for you to do these types of things. As you're going to sleep, when you're in bed, you do the same process. You can meditate or affirmations or whatever it is that you enjoy doing. As you're falling asleep, you have now this healthy mental and emotional tool that you've used as you go to sleep. TV is terrible to watch before you go to bed, and you know, stuff like that. So YouTube is a great resource. I use YouTube all the time. I recommend YouTube all the time. There's lots and lots of guided meditations. There's even sleep meditations that you can fall asleep to, like healing music, healing frequencies. There's just so much out there that you can use to help you love yourself, forgive yourself, trust and truth. Okay, so before we go into any questions, I just want to share with you that I am Denise K. I am a women's transformational love coach, speaker, and author specializing in healing from narcissistic abuse in relationships, and the founder of Life After Narcissism, CSW. And it is my mission to help you heal your heart and find true love like I did. I too experienced a very emotional, verbal, financial, and abusive marriage of over 20 years and found true love after toxic love. After 22 years, I finally had the courage to leave my abusive relationship and move 3 states away with nothing but a futon couch and an air mattress. I started my life all over again in my 40s. And last year I married my soulmate on a gorgeous North Carolina beach. And I am honored to help women all over the world heal from toxic relationships and live one amazing life. And what lights me up is seeing you heal your heart, bounce back, be happy, and find true love. That's my intro. A little bit of my story.
So can you put all your contact